What's happening, people? Welcome back to the podcast. Try not to ramble on in these intros. Today I had Gary on. I wanted to have a personal trainer who is in the depths of trying to build their business and really try help PTs that are in the same position. I'm trying to get a lot more specific with my podcast. I think I've got half listeners that are PTs and then half listeners who are just people that are wanting to hear about health and fitness and sometimes want a wee laugh. And actually, I'm going to put a poll in Spotify so I can find out who listens to the podcast. So there'll be a wee poll that you can vote in. If you're on YouTube, if you can just let me know a little bit of background. Are you a PT or are you just someone who's wanting to try better themselves and get in the gym, etc.? So I'm trying to be a lot more specific. This was a really good chat. I think a lot of PTs will highly resonate with what Gary was saying about the struggles. Like, do you post on social media? Do you market yourself? Do you join business mentorships? How the hell do you get clients? How the hell do you become an online coach? And I think it's a conversation that will help a lot of people. So without rambling, enjoy the episode. Right, so from speaking to you, you've came back into coaching after 7 years. Was it 7 years out? 5.5, 7?
Six-ish years.
And you were an in-person personal trainer before?
Aye, for 2 years.
So when you came back into the industry, what was like your idea of how you were going to get clients, and what kind of job did you think you were going to have? Did you think it was going to be like, I'm going to be an online coach?
Aye, 100%. As soon as, like, I missed it. When I left, obviously I'd done the whole kind of travelling thing. Then I came back, or I had an idea of coming back, and I had an online coach for about a year. So I was like, I miss helping people, and I quite liked the way that my online coach was like coaching me. But I don't mean to sound kind of big-headed at it, but I'm quite easy to coach. I know what I'm doing in the gym and stuff. He was just kind of telling me what to do, and I was doing it. So I thought, no bother, easy money. I can do that from my dining room table. Do you know what I mean? So started the online coaching business, had no idea what I was going to do to market, had no idea how to make content, just kind of went in at it blind, and it was a fucking terrible mistake. Terrible mistake, because I just had no idea what I was doing. Didn't know how I was going to get clients, forgot actually how to speak to people. I mean, I'm quite outgoing, I can speak to people easily, but see, trying to bring them on as clients and bring them on board and tell them how I can help them, my mind just kind of shuts off. It just brain fart left, right and centre. Do you know what I mean? So I was quite scared at starting at first, but now I'm all right now. Like, I feel like I know what route I want to take and I know how to go down that route. But just being an online coach solely online is a lot harder than it seems. A lot of people talk it up, work 4 hours a day, make X amount of money.
It's because they have a financial incentive to do that.
Mate, it's torture. So it was hard getting started, but I persevered and I stuck with it, and got back into obviously in-person stuff too. So it was very, very difficult to start with, but now it's kind of easing off a wee bit.
So when you started, right, and you were just looking at online coaching, you don't need to name names or anything, because I've done the whole like business mentor thing.
Aye.
It's more just actually the way I'm thinking of framing this is like a real proper story of someone who's came back to PTing, or it's essentially you have the skills of someone who's in their first year, but you've got like in-person experience, but like the online stuff is still brand spanking new to you, and marketing yourself still like brand spanking new to you. Like, you would just be quicker at like coaching people in person, like all those skills you've already got, but like the whole online thing's completely different. Who were you sort of looking at, or maybe aspiring to be, or like who were you taking advice off of to like market yourself?
A lot of advice I took was from my coach. My coach is also one of my really close pals as well, so I took
I've listened to one of your episodes just in prep. So I know.
So I took a lot of advice off him, because he's very successful in what he does, and he was also in person for years, and then he's fully online now. So took a lot of advice off him, but because he was already at a point where he had enough clients that he was able to go online and sustain himself, I think it was totally different to where I was, because I was starting from scratch. I had to start everything from nothing again. Like before I left the business 6-7 years ago, I had built up quite a nice business, lots of clients. I was making enough money to be comfortable. So starting again from scratch, but not being in person, it completely threw me. I was having to work kind of full time in M&S to just keep myself going whilst trying to build my business up. So it was my idea of online was, this is going to be a canter. This is going to be so easy. I'm going to make hundreds of money. I'm going to have all the freedom in the world. Me and Rachel are going to be able to travel, because the plan was for me to go online so we could then go back to Australia. That didn't happen because we ended up adopting a dog. So now we're stuck here for a wee while. So that was the idea I had in my head. So when I started online, I made no much money for the first kind of 3-4 months. Thought to myself, right, maybe it's no what I thought it was going to be. When you're in-person coaching as well, you can show somebody, you know this, you can show somebody how to lift, you can show somebody how to squat, you can show somebody how to fix their deadlift. When you're doing it over WhatsApp, it's 10 times, 100 times harder. There's only so much you can do over messages and stuff to actually help people. I think online coaching is good for people that know how to lift, know how to train properly, or people like you've done as well, is you've got people in for maybe a session a week, showed them how to lift, then kind of pushed them to a session a month and done mostly online and just had that one session to make sure everything's kind of working all right. So I think for online coaching, it's people that know how to lift, know how to train properly, and that actually listen. But for people that are starting from scratch, people that want to work out from home because they've got 2 kids or a dog to look after, people that have never stepped foot in a gym in their life and they don't want to because it's a scary place, I don't think online coaching is the place for them. But me being me, I want to help everybody. I think I can help everybody. I made the mistake of taking all these different people on, and it just stressed me out, because I'm like, how do I get my message across to them? How do I tell them what to do right, and what they're doing wrong? How do I show them? I ended up sending videos of me in the kitchen with a jar of coffee doing a single leg RDL to people just to show them the movement.
Fine. So that's what I do with coaching. So mine's is called Learn to Lift. So I do actually, I've got clients that are completely online, and I've never met in person just because they chose me. And I have managed to teach them how to lift. It's just a way longer process. So I'm big on form videos. I'll do most of them in the gym in there. But I just accept that for something I could fit, like a Romanian deadlift, something that I can fix either there and then, or sometimes, by the way, it takes me 6 weeks to get someone a Romanian deadlift in person, because they can't. They simply cannot move their bum backwards, and I need to teach them how to cat cow and all sorts, right? But I just accept that takes me like 5 times longer. So 5 form videos, it takes back and forth for 5 weeks for something I could fix 1 hour in like 5-10 minutes in person. But though the way I've tried to think about it as well is, those people will never get an in-person coach. There's so much to it, like you need time in doing it for you to understand. Because I've got so many clients that just like definitely suffer from social anxiety and stuff that go online, and they'll not, and I'm helping them in a way that they just wouldn't got. And I'm sheltered from what other coaches are doing because I have them all muted, but then I'll be told stories of what their last coach was doing with them, and I was like, right, if that's what they were doing with you, then my online coaching is like, I'm quite happy with, like, it takes me 5 weeks to teach you how to do a Romanian deadlift instead of 1 session.
Aye, absolutely. Like I say now, like my whole kind of mindset towards it's changed, and I know the route that I want to take. So it just took a bit of time to get there. But at first I was like I said, it's going to be a piece of piss. Like, I'm going to make hundreds of money, do my thing. We can do what we want. We can go weekends away whilst I'm just working for a laptop, and it's just not like that at all. Reality hit very hard very soon, but I'm so glad it did. Do you know what I mean? It was a tough gig at the start, but now I know where I want to go.
We'll go back into that. I really want to actually talk about, because I seen you talking about being stressed, and like I seen you talking about binging and stuff as well, which it seemed to be related. I know you'd said you'd suffered from like binge eating episodes and stuff before. So I want to spend most of the episode talking about the PT struggles and your in-person business before, and then for the last like 15 minutes we'll also touch on the relationship with food, because I think you'll be quite interesting to speak to about that. What did your in-person business look like before, and why were you so like right, online coaching instead as well?
Right, so before, I was working from a pure gym for 2 years. That's how long I lasted in that gym before I gave it all up to go away. Man, I was putting in, 60, 70-hour weeks. Obviously, back when I was PTing in, I think it was like 2016, 2017. It was, you could either pay 400 quid a month to rent the gym, or you could work 15 hours a week for them. And that basically covered your rent. So I took the 15 hours a week option. I'll tell you something, see, when I started coaching, nobody prepares you for what you actually have to do to be a coach and start a business and stuff. So I didn't know how to get clients in for the first 3, 4, 5 months. I didn't make a penny. Honestly, for about 4 months. It got to the point where I was that stressed and worried that I ended up with psoriasis. Like, I ended up with a really bad skin condition. It was all like my scalp was all flaky and my skin was all flaring up. So I was like, maybe this isn't what I want to do, but I am stubborn as fuck, right? And I was like, I need to make this happen. So I persevered, and then within, I would say, maybe another 3 months after that, so 6 months into coaching, I started getting clients, making a wee bit of money. I was like, right.
Do you remember how you were getting the clients?
Classes. I really put all my energy and focus into classes, and I got quite a few clients off the back of that.
Just because they were like, this guy's sound?
Aye, because people liked my classes. People liked the variety I had in them. People liked my energy.
Because you put effort into the classes, probably.
Aye. And people liked my energy. And then I started getting a wee bit of confidence. So at the end of each classes, I started offering free sessions. And I would give them my business card. Man, wait, I'll tell you about my business card as well. Made it on, I can't remember what website it was, but there was a spelling mistake on it. And I printed like 250 of them.
They were quite expensive back in the day, weren't they? Probably like 100 quid for that or something. 250
business cards with a spelling mistake. But
what was the spelling mistake?
So this is a pure shite business name, but my old PT name used to be CCBA Fitness, right? Commitment, consistency, believe, achieve. And instead
that's a mouthful.
I know. Instead of consistency, I put consistency. CCBA. So people used to call it.
So that's what I would just do.
Absolute clown, honestly. Nobody helped me out back then, but it said commitment, consistency. I missed out the S. And I was like, oh man, I just gonna need to go with it. So I started handing out my business cards at the end of classes once I got a wee bit confident. And then before you know it, like, people are kind of knocking at the door, coming in. I actually had to stop taking people on at one point. By the end of the 2 years, I had, I think, like 30 plus in person.
And did you move to the 400 quid?
No, I had planned to do that, but they kind of fucked me over a wee bit, because for me to move to the 400 quid, they had to bring another coach in to cover my shifts.
They've got so many tactics to fuck. James was telling me in JD, you have to do 4 months of the paying that model before they let you.
Really?
Which is just shite.
Aye, they don't really.
It was something like that. There's something they use to keep you doing it.
Aye, they don't care about you, they just care about lining their pockets and stuff. So I got kind of screwed over with that a wee bit, because if I was able to go to the 400 quid a week, I would have had a lot more spare time to bring in more clients, to do what I wanted to do. But I was stuck to these set 15 hours. That was the only good thing.
And it's the hours. It's not just 15 hours a week. It's like 6 to 10 at night. The ones that really zap your energy.
Aye.
So that's the thing that fucks over a lot of PTs, because they're in these weird hours, and then all the time that's like their time for either chilling the fuck out, doing what they want to do, they're used to put weights away.
Aye.
And then that's literally the thing that's stopping, like, at least like 30 to 40% of like their output of being able to get clients.
Aye,
is stuck doing these weird stupid, like,
cleaning treadmills with a mop.
And it must just demoralise you. I never ever went down that route, but I knew that would do that to me. I'd done enough jobs.
It was hard at the time, like, but I thought that was normal. I thought that's what it was to be a PT. You had to just put your hours in, kind of cleaning the gym and making sure everything was in tip top shape, and then you would get the payout on the back end of it. But like I say, they fucked me over a wee bit on that.
So to me, right, do you know what stands out? You had a business there, like a really like good business, that if you just had a few things to like help you make half of it online, you would have probably like had a really good strategy for a business. And the thing that I hate hearing about all this online stuff is that still works. Like, see what you were doing. People still go to classes. People still hire coaches from classes. People still are in gyms and can see good coaches and would hire them over someone that comes on their Instagram feed. It's still a thing.
Aye, absolutely. And I think what I used to do with my clients as well is I used to train them so there was 3 sections to the gym. That was 3 big units, and I used to train them in the middle of the second unit so people could see what I was doing. It was like a functional area, but it had a big monkey bars and all that, but it also had squat racks and stuff in it. So I used to train my clients there so people could see what I was doing. And I think I got quite a few clients off the back of that as well, quite a bit of interest anyway. But yeah, it took a long time for me to get into a position where I was able to say, I'm comfortable now. I can afford to pay for my car, I can afford to pay for my digs. I was still living with my mum at the time, so she kind of let me off with digs for that first 4 months and stuff. So
I've been using my dad for a long time.
if you can do that for as long as you can.
Well, I've just moved out again after 2 months.
So you have. But so I got lucky with still living with my mum, but see if I was living in my own place, I'd have chucked it within 3-4 months, just because it was not sustainable whatsoever. And people don't realise how hard a gig it is at the start. But yeah, after the 2 years, man, I was at a point where I was like, this is class. Like, I'm really enjoying myself. It didn't feel like I was getting up and working. Do you know what I mean? Even though I was spending 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. in the gym, Monday to Thursday, maybe even sometimes Monday to Friday, Saturday morning in the gym, and then Sunday I had a 6-hour shift paying my rent sort of thing. So I was in the gym 7 days a week. But it didn't feel like I was going to work because I was enjoying what I was doing. I was enjoying the people I was training, and then just kind of gave it all up. Like, I thought about going online, but I didn't know how to make that transition. So I just like, nah, bugger it. I'm just going to give it all up and start again when I come back.
Right. So after all of that, like, that's really good experience as well. So like, you coming back into online coaching, most people are getting pushed into just being an online coach, and that was severely humbling for me when I came into it, because I actually, unlike you, I understood social media quite well because I'd built a following before, because I'd done that freestyle football, and I used to get hired for events and stuff, so that was all off the back of my following and posting stuff, and like posting clips of me doing performances and stuff and keeping up contacts and shit. So I kind of understood all of that. I didn't understand like coaching at all. That was the thing I didn't understand. So I was severely humbled by like thinking that I could just tell people this is what you do, and then they would go and do it, and then they wouldn't do it, and I'd be like, wow, this is difficult. What have you found the struggles of online coaching and getting clients? Because what I've seen you do, right, because I want to stay in this sort of like topic of like how it's been difficult, and I know you've got in a much better spot now, but I noticed when I went through your Instagram, you've changed like your messaging quite a lot and like the tactics quite a lot, and you can see, like, you know what I'm like, I can see when you're following something. Do you know what I mean? Because I've seen all of it, like the DM me stuff and all that. Like, what have you followed, and what's worked and what hasn't worked?
So when I just started again with the online side of things, if you went way back to the start, it was just me sitting in front of a camera just talking, and that was because I was watching lots of James Smith stuff, and that's what he used to do, and I thought, right, that's what I need to do to get clients and build a following. Then you start seeing me making reels, going for the different angles and different, do you know what I mean, like the quick jump cuts and stuff. Casey. No, so much Sean Casey. And I just started watching other coaches and seeing what they were doing, and thought, right, following Sean Casey, right, that's what I need to do. Yeah, honestly, I like, see one reel, you know yourself, like one minute reel takes about 2 hours to script and shoot and cut and edit, and I'm like, oh my god, this is shite. So I started going to that, trying to kind of catch people's eye with my stuff. Still no idea what I was doing. And then I bought into the business mentor. I know you have a very strong opinion on that, but I get hit with a car salesman pitch. And I was
where on Facebook or something?
It was a Facebook ad that I get caught. Hey coach, do you want to make 10 plus clients in the next 30 days, all that sort of stuff? Try my 5-day free trial, blah, blah, blah. So I tried it. And then off the back of it, got a call and get hit with the car salesman pitch. And I'm like, do you know what? I'm not making any money.
What did they say to you on the phone?
So they spoke about the 5-day free trial, and they're like, look, you're showing a lot of promise. You can easily get X amount of clients in the door in the next 30 days if you buy into the starter program and follow everything that we are telling you to follow. It only costs X amount of money. So I'm like I need clients because I need to make money.
Can you say how much money?
2.5 grand it costs, right? Now, bear in mind...
the big deep breath.
2.5 grand.
2.5 grand.
Now, bear in mind...
By the way, I've asked quite a few people who came on and they're always the same, like 4 grand. It's just because it hurts that you...
Aye, it was a very expensive mistake to make, but I'm glad I made the mistake because I've learned from it. But we'd just come back from travelling. We decided, right, we're going to stay at home. We adopted a dog. 2.5 grand is all I had in my savings. And I wiped my savings out. I had a chat with the missus about it, and she's like, look, do you think it's a good idea? And I'm like, but they've promised me that'll make this money back within 6 months, or if I don't, they'll reimburse me. But the catch to that was, or the caveat to that was, I had to do exactly what they told me to do. Otherwise, it was like they wouldn't have reimbursed me, do you know what I mean? So I'm like, let's go for it. I'll make this money back in 6 months. So I bought into it. And that's when you start seeing my content change as well, because everything was scripted. Or the descriptions, what do you call that? The caption, sorry. Yeah. That was all scripted. I just had to put a photo or a reel to it, and then copy and paste and just change wee words.
So that was their script?
Their script.
You changing the words at all?
Just
no,
like,
so you can see that. I knew that was I didn't know that's what they do, but I could see that wasn't your way of speaking.
100%.
And the way that the emojis they use, and it's always like questioning, it's trying to provoke a guilt response.
Aye.
So it's like, do you suffer from this? I used to too. Like trying to be relatable, but it's not relatable because it's not you speaking.
100%.
And people can feel that.
Aye, that's the way I felt as well. Like, see, when I was copying and pasting the script, I'm like, that doesn't sound like me. That's not me speaking. And it started like winding me up. So I was messaging the...
Were you getting any clients? None?
Nah, I got a wee bit of interest off of the kind of carousels that are all fancy looking, like they were all made up for us as well. I just had to put my face on it, sort of thing. I got quite a bit of interest off the back of them because they're eye-catching, like looking for 5 people to...
And so this is what I can see, right? And this is why I get fucking well annoyed at it. But they're teaching you the strategy that they use to get you on.
Exactly.
It's the exact same strategy, isn't it?
Yep.
So there's nothing to do with like, who are you? What's your background? What are you good at? Because when you talk to me, I'm like, you're sociable. You clearly like are quite good with people in person. Mate, you meet a lot of online coaches and you're like, you can't even speak. Like, do you know what I mean? You haven't left your house in like 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
So I'm like, right, your skills are personable. You'd be good at in person, and you maybe need help with like just how can you get your in person to like also be a bit online.
Mm-hmm.
So like loads of the work that, because like, see when you do sessions with people, then you're doing it with them 3 times a week. So you have to like 4 weeks. Most of those sessions are so pointless.
Aye, you just
count reps.
Aye.
So it's like, how do you like get them to come in there and then also just slowly move them online? Because you're not passing them off online.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually probably going to save them money.
Mm-hmm.
And also you've taught them everything. So those, you can also put way more effort into those first sessions because you know that they're going to go online, and it's more like, right, this is teaching you everything, every single lift that you're going to have on the programs. But these business mentorships is just like cookie cutter shit, and all of them are. That's why they make so much money.
Aye,
and that's why they're business mentors, because it has to be cookie cutter, because the only reason they're business mentors is because they want to make more money.
Aye, exactly. And they're feeding off of people that are starting off in the industry or trying to take their business to the next level. And when I bought into the mentorship, I thought, and I said this to Rachel as well, I was like, they're going to help me build the business for the inside out. I got fuck all help. It was essentially, this is how to market yourself. Doesn't matter if you get 2 people in the door, doesn't matter if you get 20 people in the door. They only care about how many people you get in the door, and then when they're in the door, they don't help you with how to program, how to structure a program and all that sort of stuff. Quite good with programming, but I just needed help with the systems to use, what apps and stuff to use on the phone and whatnot. So yeah, 10 people in the door, I shut the bed. I'm like, what do I do now? Like, how do I get the programs to them? How do I how's the first week supposed to look? Do you know what I mean? Because I was getting them in the door and then I wouldn't speak to them for a week, and I'm like, this isn't doing anything for me. It's not doing anything for them. The mentorship that I bought in, just cared about getting people in the door. They didn't care about helping you from the inside.
Yeah. So your thing, it was like I think it was like fat loss Kickstarter, wasn't it?
It was.
So that's your that's like the cookie cutter thing they've gave you.
Yep.
You've seen an ad, 5-day trial for the business mentorship. They teach you how to do a 5-day. Is it a 5-day trial for fat loss or something?
No. So it was a 5-day trial for how to bring clients in the door, pretty much.
No, I mean what you were posting.
Oh, sorry. Aye. It was
so what is the 5 days?
5 a message every single day or a task every single day, and then by the end of the 5 days they should know how to lose fat off the back of that. But mate, honest to God, see, looking back now, I hate myself for doing it.
That was me slapping my face for anyone in the audio.
Hate myself for doing it. But
no, I don't hate you, because you've put $2.5 in, and like they'll be minted probably. Oh. Well, there's actually so many of them now. I'm not convinced they're all making money, because I go on Facebook every day now and block every single one of them, and I've been doing it for 3 months.
Aye.
And I can't get it. There's still, and I mean, I don't block one a day. I mean, every day I'm on there blocking like 10 that come up, and it's never ending.
It's torture. I'm still getting slammed with ads, and even from the same mentorship that I bought into.
So did you reach out to them and say, look, I'm not getting anything, and what happened there?
You just need to follow what we're telling you to do, because said person knows what he's talking about. So I didn't actually deal with the guy at the top. I dealt with people that work for him. He knows what he's talking about. You need to follow what he's telling you to do, and you will get. And I'm like, but what you're telling me to do isn't me. It's
not anyone.
Doesn't
by the way,
align with my morals. It doesn't align with my ethos. Like, it's not helping me become a better coach. It's helping me become a better marketer. But off the back of that, it's not genuine. Do you know what I mean? So, I ended up saying to them, I think 3 months into it, like, I just cancelled my membership and I didn't get any money back. So
none.
Not a single thing.
I wonder how many people do that. Now, look, so just to touch on what I've sort of learned over like the last 4 years of doing this, is my progress has been a lot slower. Even though I gained loads of followers, right? But business-wise, that doesn't transfer over. But I've felt like being yourself is a much slower but more, you actually progress. I think you might get clients in the short term off of these tactics, but it halts you because it stops you being yourself and figuring out what actually works for you. And I think the much slower approach is what, and the thing I get annoyed about PTs with, because some people just jump from business mentorship to business mentorship, and it's like, imagine your client jumping from diet to diet, doing the exact same thing. And I know it is really stressful being a coach and not having money. I've been there quite many times. I'd done it to myself last year. 3 years into coaching, I moved to Australia and I completely zeroed my account. I'd put $5,000 into crypto, 4 or 5 grand into crypto. It was only worth $2,000. I had to take it all because I had no money. My dad was raging at me. I was like, I have no money. And like, mate, I'm not from money, so I can't. Dad, you want to lend me to? Because I don't have that sort of luxury in it. But I really feel like you learn so much more by like avoiding those things, and then maybe getting help when you really know it's a specific thing. Look, I'm shit at marketing. That's what I'm getting at. You get a one-on-one sort of guy that's going to help you with marketing rather than the business mentorships. What have you learned since? Because I know you listened to that business mentorship podcast. I know I'm nothing to do with like what you've sort of changed and stuff, but what has changed?
A lot. My attitude towards it. Like, to be fair, I got lucky because I got hired in the gym, and I work for another guy online as well, so I got lucky. Say,
because I'm going to have Fraz on, I think. I've asked him before, but I didn't chase him up on it.
He lives in Portugal, so might be.
Maybe not.
Might be a bit difficult. Absolutely.
Oh, Michael told me he was
smashing guy, like amazing guy. He needed a coach to help him with his online stuff, so I started working for him last June, I believe, June or July. So I got lucky with that because I was making a steady income every month that allowed me to actually take my foot off the gas with my content and actually be me. So I learned off the back of the mentorship, don't pretend to be someone that you're not, because it's disingenuine and it's not going to get you from A to B any quicker. And it's just going to stress you out a lot more as well, because I was waking up in the mornings and I'm like, I don't want to post today because it doesn't sound like me posting, or that sort of stuff. But so I got lucky off the back of that with Fraz in the gym, and that allowed me to actually just be my normal self and allowed me to have a wee bit more time to build up a client base that want to work with me. Do you know what I mean? Like, this business mentorship is like, everybody that follows you, send them a message. Everybody that likes your content, send them a message. And I'm like, no. So now, if somebody messages me, I know they want to work with me because they're approaching me, and that's the people that I want to work with. I don't want to go chasing people and be like, do you want to work with me? Do you want to work with me? Do you want to work with me? Because you're going to get people that will come in, say they want to work with you, they don't, they end up being fucking nightmare clients. And then it just stresses you out as well. And you start to think to yourself, maybe I'm not as good a coach as I thought I was, because I'm getting 10 people in the door and 9 of them have left already. I don't really market anymore. I don't really post content to be like, right, do you just want to come and work with me? I just post content that I want to help people with. And I feel like that's more me. I would help everybody for free if I could afford it. Do you know what I mean? But off the back of the business mentorship,
I'm skin.
I essentially, like, so if I could post content every day that helps people for free, then I absolutely will. Because I'm not in this game. I know I said at the start, online coaching, it's going to be easy. I'm going to make hundreds of money. I'm not in this game to make money. I'm in this game to help people that have been in a similar situation to me. Do you know what I mean? And I seem to be doing that now, which is amazing. But I like I say, I made that very expensive mistake at the start. At the time, thinking back on it now, I'm obviously gutted about the money, but I'm glad I made that mistake because I've learned a lot from it, and I've learned that I don't need business mentorship.
Well, I've spent similar kind of money, not on a business mentorship, but going from different coaches and stuff. And you learn a lot. Like, even though you didn't get clients from that, you also, that lesson you've learned will make you as much money in the long run.
It's very personal. It's
even
personal
though,
lesson.
you've just learned the opposite of what to do.
Exactly.
Still, I'm not even being cringy, by the way, because loads of what I've learned has been like, right, they done that, made me feel like this. I'll do the opposite, and I've paid them for it.
Aye.
But I still learn, and it still really helped my business.
Aye. Every day's a school day in this game. And if you can see if you can write down all the lessons that you're learning as well, you'll learn so much, rather than just, I'll not do that again. Fucking write it down so you don't forget not to do that again, because you can easily make the same mistake twice and it comes back. And
there's going to be there's a real shift coming with this short form stuff that PTs are doing as well. I can't go on my phone, mate, and go on that Reels thing, and they're all fucking just screaming at you, saying the same shit about fat loss and like, or like this. They know what exercises get views, so like slagging off like bench pressing.
I know.
And saying you should do a machine press, screaming it at the camera, mate. Shut up. Fucking shut up.
I know. There's a lot of that.
There'll be a real. I've said this at the start of the year. I think you'll be much better off if you can work in person and you have that skill, because 90% of the industry won't. And like for 85 years, and it's getting really competitive online because people see what apps like CapCut, anyone can make videos now. Obviously, talking to a camera takes you like 6 months, but there's more and more of them talking about it. And you'll see, I've now been doing it 4 years. I've seen so many people grow a following, but growing a following by doing whatever works for the algorithm.
Yeah.
And just talking about fat loss. Like, people aren't going to be interested in you after a year of you talking about fat loss. So you just have like my TikTok following, you have like a dead following, which is a dead sort of business. So if you, like, what I've learned from coaching people in person all the time is like, I'm not scared about anything to do with social media, because I would just go to all the housing estates in Airdrie and offer them free sessions. And I would actually be like, you don't need to give me any money. Like, I won't even pitch to you. Just come in and I'll show you how to lift. And I would just, and I know that I would have a business.
100%. I think there's so much value in free in-person sessions. Like I said, I've done that back in Pure Gym, and it brought me quite a lot of success. Hard to do that when you're online. It's hard to give somebody a free session when you're online. But now that I'm in a gym, I'm able to do that again. And even my online clients and stuff as well, I'm getting them in once a month. Just a kind of form check, make sure everything's all right. We can actually talk to each other, because there's only so much you can do over Loom videos and WhatsApp voice notes. Do you know what I mean? So much more value in in-person stuff, much more money in online stuff. So it's about where your values and morals lie. If you're in it for the money, online's your thing. If you're in it to actually help people and be a good PT and be a good coach, you need to do some sort of in-person stuff as well. Just on a kind of what's the word I'm looking for here? Brain fart.
Personal level.
That's that. How the fuck can I know what? I'm telling you, man, brain farts left and right.
But even like, see those clients that you meet once a month,
Yes.
they'll probably stay on with you for 3 or 4 months
100%.
longer than what they would have.
100%.
Or they might have done like the initial whatever you do with them, like 3 months, and then
Mhm.
not stayed on. But if they meet you 2 or 3 times and go, fuck, he actually like really paid attention to me for the 3 sessions we done, and I got so much out of that.
Aye,
Like with my online, I've got a group chat with them. When they come in for that in-person session, there's people that haven't came in. They all message in the group chat, if you've not went in and done, because I don't charge them any more money.
Mhm.
They're like, if you've not came in, like you get 10 times more going in working with him in person.
Aye.
And I'm like, it's there. Some people are, like I said, you get people that just don't want to do it, but you can help them so much more.
Aye, I completely agree.
Right, I think I want to move into the sort of binge eating stuff you were talking about, because that's what I asked you to come on the podcast, and you were like, mate, I've got load. Mate, I've had, what was you said to me with that? Mate, terrible upbringing. And I was like, nice. Same.
Hopefully my mom doesn't listen to that episode.
I would kill my mum if she listened to my podcast. Jesus Christ. Do you think recently, because you said you'd like had binging episodes and since being a PT, have you found like the stress and overwhelm of like going back into coaching and not knowing what to do has caused that as well?
That led to quite bad binging at the start. In fact, my last binge 2 days ago.
Was it?
No reason for it. Just once I get a thought in my head, I kind of stop thinking about it until I actually follow it through. I just know how to deal with it a wee bit better. I can recognise the triggers a wee bit better now. But talking about my upbringing, like, came for the south side of Glasgow, a wee ski missus, no, I'm not looking for pity or woe me.
Just I moved to the south side, and there's where I live. Like, do you know, I got a
nice part of the south side.
Because I've came from the scheme, so when people say, I know bad, so my mate used to live next to your secondary school, so I know that bit, and it was rough as fuck.
Aye,
like the big flats.
Aye, that's it. That's
I
it.
look at them from my flat now.
That's the school. That's the school that I went to. Apparently, at one point, it was like the most violent school in Scotland or Glasgow, one of the two. I want to say Scotland, it sounds better.
We used to train freestyle in that school.
Did you?
As in just when it was shut and that, so I know it, like the Ash Park and all that.
Aye. So I went to that school. I grew up in Pollock in Glasgow, so single mum, 2 kids. She done her best to put food on the table for us, but the way she showed us love was by rewarding us with food and sweets and Haribo and all that sort of chocolate. The fridge was always stacked full of shite. So I grew up thinking it was normal. Ended up getting a wee bit fat. So I was a fat kid in school. Used to get bullied for my man boobs, which I still have, by the way. That's why I'm wearing black and baggy t-shirts.
I've got the same problem. I still wear like jumpers and stuff just because
it's just a self-conscious thing.
I was talking to someone about this the other day. You'll know this trick.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it.
Wait.
If you watch back the video, you'll see me doing it like so
and
many
you've
times.
lost a lot of weight recently, haven't you?
Aye.
So for audio listeners, I've got a trick where I just pull my jumper out because I've got rolls right now. Like do you know what I mean? And I can feel it. And I've always had that, and like I've just got complexes I can't get rid of doing this. Feeling my fat, just going like this, and that's me. I'm 12 kilos lighter than I was like 10 months ago, and I still like I'm like there's a. But like I think when you've gained weight, your skin is a bit looser.
Yeah.
So I've always got that now, and like I just have my dad will gain like 5 stone, and he just like gets wider.
Aye, same with my dad.
And I'm like, mate, I just get rolls.
It's crazy. Like my he's in the pub every weekend, and he's just got a big beer gut.
I never get that.
Nothing up here. I've obviously taken it off my ma. I just store it on my chest. Do you know what I mean? Store it on my chest. So growing up, like I got no bullied as such, but quite a lot of comments made. So I became self-conscious. I was a fat kid. I ended up just becoming a gamer for quite a...
I thought you said became gay.
become a gamer for
Just
quite a
turned
few
to bed.
years. In my teens, I would just sit and play the Xbox, and I would sit with like a big 2 litre bottle of Coke next to me and just hundreds of snacks because it's what I knew. So yeah, quite out of shape, quite unfit, quite unhealthy, and that kind of led to like, I believe it's what it's kind of led to my binging episodes now, because that's what I turn to for comfort. When I was playing my games and having my 2 litre of Coke and stuff, I felt in that moment good. It was like that instant dopamine hit. So when I get a wee bit stressed out now, when things start to get on top of me, that's what I turn to for food. A lot of people, they'll go to the gym to get that dopamine hit. They'll do X, Y, and Z, but I turn to food, and it's something that I'll probably always need to deal with and live with for the rest of my life, but I'm just in control of it a lot more now. And that's why you've probably seen that I've done a photo shoot and stuff last year as well. That was purely to see if I could take back control. So I think I lost something like 18 kilos for that photo shoot. I got down to 66 kilo, 10.5 stone for people that do stone. I was fucking lean, man. I seen abs for the first time in my life, but I didn't feel good, didn't enjoy it. Rachel said I was a nightmare to live with, because people have this perception of what health and fitness looks like. It's definitely not being lean with abs, 100%. So after that photo shoot, mate, I went on 2 weeks of just stuffing my face with anything I could get. And like I say, it's because that's what I know. But yeah,
No, to stay on that, like, did you expect that to happen?
After the photo shoot? No, I didn't. I thought once I get lean, I'm going to want to stay there. Yeah, I looked happy in my photo shoot and stuff, because of course I was all fake tanned up, I was all shaved, I was looking in the mirror, I'm like, I look quite bang, I look good, I look like photo shoot fresh. But as soon as the photo shoot was done, I said to my coach, my mate, I never want to do that again. Like, I never want to get down to 66 kilo again, because I did not enjoy it. I wasn't happy. I was eating 1,600 calories a day, mate, and it was just torture.
Did he help you through that process, as in, like, did you want to do the photo shoot? Was that your idea?
I asked him.
And
I asked him for it.
Did you expect that to help your relationship with food?
I did.
What was your thought process there? Because I think I would have had the same thought process years ago, but now I would be like, that's the last thing you would have needed.
That's what I mean by saying I wanted to see if I could take back control. So I wanted to see if I could take back control and stay in control, but during it, because I had this end goal in mind, or this end date set for the photo shoot, I was like, right, I just need to power through 16 weeks or something. I dieted for it.
That's a lot of weight to lose in 16.
So the 18 kilos was over a year and a half period. January 2022, I think, to September 23. So just over a year and a half. But from when I decided to do the shoot, it was 16, I think maybe even 18 weeks from when I decided to the actual photo shoot date. So I dieted really hard for that, and I was like, right, this will make me gain back control, and it'll allow me to see that I'm in control of what I put in my mouth, which you are, at the end of the day you are, but I wanted to change my mindset and kind of be in control of it from a mental standpoint. So I had that end goal in sight, and I was like, right, I need to power through, but all I could think about was food, and the food that I wasn't allowing myself, and the food that I felt was off limits and stuff. So after the photo shoot, I'm like, right, I've done the photo shoot, nothing's off limits now, because I don't have to stay lean, and I don't want to stay lean. So I started binging. Had holiday 2 weeks after the shoot, and I went to the holiday, no abs, nothing. Like, I went feeling like a bag of shite.
And what was your thoughts then? I'm sorry if this is a bit deep, but these are the type of things that I'm constantly speaking to clients and even PTs about.
I'm very open about this as well, and I think it makes me very relatable to potential clients and people that are on social media.
Because I think you need to be able to like talk about things you've done that you maybe don't think were right as well, because that's how you've learned. Because I done the same thing about a year and a half into coaching, where Tony coached me and he literally just drilled me for 18 weeks, mate, and I nearly got, like, I had very early on like signs of having an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Like, food was actually making me feel physically sick, like some types of food. That's because my goal, which wasn't really set by me, was losing lots and lots of fat. and constantly stepping on the scale every day and all that. And as much as I'm really self-aware, what I was doing was, there's no way of getting you to outthink that. If that's your goal and that's your focus, you can't just like outthink it.
Sounded like that was more for him than it was for you.
Well, that's what he does well. That's a business model.
Yeah.
Fat loss and posting a transformation.
Aye. But no, I wanted to do this for me to see if I could do it. And I was chuffed that I'd done it. I'm like...
So the holiday though, like
yes.
How are you feeling on the holiday?
A wee bit self-conscious. Don't get me wrong, I still had my top off and that, and I was like, I could have came here in a lot better shape, but at the same time I was like, do you know what? Fuck it, I'm a lot happier now than I was 2 weeks ago when I was starving, and now I'm on holiday drinking pina coladas, and do you know what I mean? So I was a lot happier, even though I was still a wee bit self-conscious. Everybody's drunk on an all-inclusive holiday. Nobody's going to be looking at me going, state of this guy, you know what I mean? Like, he was in shape 2 weeks ago, because nobody knows, nobody cares about what you look like more than you do. So that's a big thing that I learned as well. Like, nobody gives a fuck if you've got abs more than you do. And that allowed me to kind of take back control of me, if that makes sense, rather than letting the food take control and letting everything that wasn't in my control take control. Does that sound?
I don't know. You just said control a lot.
I just said control a hell of a lot.
I know.
So
don't worry about it.
Let me see if I can word it better. So what I've learned from then is control what you can control, rather than worry about what's not in your control. Saying control a lot. Again,
that's fine.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Aye. But do you feel like you've got a better relationship with food since?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Yes, I still binge and stuff, and I've accepted that that's something that I'm going to need to deal with for the rest of my life. But
what do you frame as a binge as well?
Excessive amounts of food in one go. Like, I mean, to the point where I feel sick, like physically sick. It hurts.
And do you disassociate when you're doing that? Like, are you fully aware of what you're doing?
Oh, I'm aware of what
that's
I'm doing.
Not a trick question. I'm just... because a lot of people will actually like feel completely out of control, and some people will describe it as like they might zone out for like an hour and stuff. And I've never been in that position, so I'm only describing what they've been told. I'm not saying this from a point of like I've felt this, because I haven't. I would be very aware of what I was doing when I would have, and I would also not describe what I was doing as binge episodes. I'm not saying, because mine's was different. You're like, I'd be very aware that I'm eating 12 Kit Kats when I used to do it, you know, and it would be a conscious decision. Whereas to some people, I think it's like really deep rooted and it's not as conscious.
So it's a weird one from my point of view, because I know what I'm doing and I know that it's not right, but I feel like I just can't stop. I could be halfway through a large Domino's pizza and feel full, but I say to myself, I've bought that pizza, I'm fucking eating it. Packet of Percy Pigs, right? Percy Pigs. If I open that packet, I can't just have a few. I need to finish that packet. So if I'm in the middle of a binge, and I'll go to the shops beforehand, and I'll be like, what do I feel like? Do I feel like pizza? Do I feel like crisps? Do I feel like chocolate? I buy it all, and then I eat it all. I'm aware of what I'm doing, but at the same time, I feel like someone inside me is taking control, and I just can't stop doing that. I ended up getting addicted to vapes and stuff as well when I was cutting for the shoot, because I tried to stop eating sweets, so I wanted the sweet taste of the vapes, which fucked me up as well, man. Don't get me wrong, I'm weaning myself off them now, but it's just a lot of things going on emotionally, and I think they've all stemmed a lot from childhood. Like God love my mum. Like, she tried her best, but she had a lot of stuff going on as well, and she was very angry all the time. So I grew up with a lot of pent up anger, and I just, the way I knew how to deal with it was to take it out on other people and eat my weight in food. My anger's gone. Like, I'm not an angry person anymore, because I went to Canada and discovered that weed was legal, and it chilled me out quite a lot. But coming back here, I've got rid of all my anger, so now it's just the food side of things. That's the only thing that I don't seem to have a control of, but I can just recognise the triggers and deal with it as best as possible. I can try and blunt the blow from a binge episode by swapping my Ben and Jerry's tub out for Halo Top. Do you know what I mean? So I'm binging, but I'm not taking in as many
This
calories.
is what I tell some clients, not specifically like your situation. I try to steer, if I think it's really deep rooted in a belief they have that they might also not be aware of, because some of our beliefs come really from childhood, like you're talking about. Like there's probably there might be something there that's like properly from childhood that you don't even really know.
Yeah.
That's something that you've constantly told yourself for a coping mechanism. So I try not delve into it that much, but like I've had clients that have fucking done my nutting, and I've just clocked off of work, switched my laptop off, went to Aldi, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, you can't have Kit Kats, replace it for Fibre One bars. Doesn't do anything like that. But I mean, like, I love ice cream, so like the low calorie stuff, I enjoy that as much as a Ben and Jerry's. So I will buy stuff like that, but it will be like 1,500 calories or something I'll buy, but and I'll maybe go like a wee bit over my calories that day, but it's fine. But I can't just tell someone to do that, because I'm 10 years into like really working on myself, been for therapy, and I've done a lot to undo a lot of things I used to do to myself, and I'm well ahead of a lot of people in terms of that, and I know I am. So it's really condescending, I think, to like for me to like give really simple advice like that.
I can see why you would think it would be condescending, and for some people they might take it in a condescending way.
Even for me to give you advice right now about like, I think that would be condescending, because I'm not in your position. I've not been through what you've been through.
What I tend to say to like clients and stuff that I've worked with when they do have a binge, like I'll say to them, I completely understand why it's happened, but if you were to go back, what could you do differently? What would you do differently? And then it's just all about kind of planning ahead for the next binge, because it is going to happen. And I tell people that, like, you are going to binge again. But what we can do is, if we plan ahead and choose better choices before the binge happens, if you've stocked up on things that are super high in volume and low in calories, you know, berries, watermelon, all that sort of nonsense, popcorn's a fantastic one to binge on. Doesn't mean to say you go binge on popcorn.
No, it's a good idea.
No Butterkiss, don't. Butterkiss is out of the question. But if you've got them in the cupboard instead of your Dairy Milks, your Galaxies, your McCoy's crisps, all that sort of stuff, any crisp in the world, and I pick McCoy's there. Do you like McCoy's?
I'm not really a big crisp guy at all, to be honest.
But if you stock
mini cheddars, that's my go-to.
You're a mini cheddars fan. Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
Cheddars.
But if you can already have them in the house, and you feel that kind of binge, low calorie ice cream, and you feel that binge coming on, and it means you've just swapped a 2,500, 3,000 calorie binge for a 1,500 calorie binge. Do you know what I mean? So, and
I've tried to like look at those things really logically with people as well. So you can go, look, that's completely different. And because a lot of people will just be like, I've binged. Yeah. And then that's what will make them feel really guilty after. Just even that, like, I've lost control again and stuff. But if you can go through it logically. Aye,
exactly. And let's be honest, like, nobody in the history of the world got fat off a one binge episode. Do you know what I mean? And I try and tell clients that as well. Like, yes, you've binged. Let's not dwell on it. How we bounce back from this binge is what's going to make the biggest difference. If you let that get to you, you're going to, if they binge on a Saturday and they let it get to them, by the Wednesday they're still feeling like shit, and they're already setting themselves up for a weekend of not tracking. So if I can say to them, look, get the line drawn, let's bounce back, let's get back on it, prep ahead of time for the next binge, because you know it's going to happen. Recognise the triggers, tell me why you binged.
Would you ever like look at like what happened in their life?
That's what I ask them.
Because that's more the conversations I kind of have, like what was actually going on, work or whatever. Is it a difficult conversation you're avoiding or whatever? Because you can prep as much as you want, but if this thing that's lingering, that's stressing you out, never gets solved,
100%,
then that's also half the issue. That's why it has to be one-on-one.
100%, and that's why it's personal.
Because the coach might not have the answer, but they might ask a few questions that then they get the answer in their head, and the coach might not even know. Exactly.
Like it's easy just to go like that. Oh, it's fine. We'll try again this week.
Yeah.
But taking a step back and actually looking at it from the outside in and asking the right questions, it's a skill in itself, and you need to go through a few times of having clients do that before you actually start to know the right questions to ask. And each person's going to have like specific individualized questions that you ask them, and it's about finding out that person on a more personal level. So just taking a step back and actually asking them, like, why did it happen?
I try just get a picture, mate. Just even of what happened.
Exactly.
So literally, like, what happened, like, and then they tell me what happened, and I was like, what happened before that, and then do you know, just gaining a picture, and then you know what question to ask, because your question's based off what the answer to the question is.
And the more and more they do it, and the more you ask questions, then they're eventually going to be like, I just had a binge and I know exactly why it happened, because that's the stage that I'm at now. Like, if I have a binge, I text Kyle straight away, just had a binge, mate, I know exactly what triggered it, this is why. And it will allow your clients to get to the point that they're able to do that on their own. And then they come to you straight away, by the way, Gary, just had a binge, this triggered it, wee bit stressful day at work, I had an argument with my boss or something like that, or I've just found out that I'm being laid off, led to a binge. Fair enough, like, we can work on it, let's get through it together. So there's loads of different ways to tackle it, but you just need to know who it is you're dealing with and what way to approach it, because people can see it's condescending, but other people can be like, I really needed that. Do you know what I mean?
Right, I think we'll end that there. That was good.
Enjoy that.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
I'm trying to learn it. Mate, you were really good. Like, genuinely.
Saved control quite a lot, but
that was just a little, that's fine.
That was a wee 5 minutes of madness, innit?
Thank you very much for coming on. I'm going to
mate.
put all your stuff in the show notes. You coach from Club 300 and you also online coach as well. So if anyone wants to get in touch with you, I'll put it on the show notes. Thank you very much for coming on.
Cheers, appreciate that.